Welcome back to Coffee and Tea with CarrieVee. I'm CarrieVee, your biggest fan. And this podcast is about all things communication, leadership, confidence, and clarity. And joining us today is Conley. And she is an incredible speaker. I've gotten to hear her speak. I learned so much from her and everything she has to offer. So, Carrie, welcome to Coffee and Tea with CarrieVee.
Well, how fun is this? The two Carries.
I
I'm
know.
happy to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. So tell us, what is lighting you on fire? What gets you out of bed? What's your driving force? Why do you do what you do?
Well, I'm known as a vision expert, so I've been teaching people for 30 years unofficially
Mhm.
why they need to have a very clear, bigger than life written vision for both their personal life and their professional life.
Yeah.
And it's morphed over the years, Carrie. In the beginning, I was doing that because I was building a network marketing team. That was my background in that industry. And then I started teaching it to mostly female entrepreneurs in the speaking and coaching business because most of them do not have a very clear vision. So they're kind of winging it. And so I ended up coaching a lot of them on how to monetize their business with their vision. But what's really lighting my fire and my passion right now is working with young adults. I have lost 2 family members in the past 10 years to suicide. Lost my husband 10 years ago, and then 3 years later, my 25-year-old son. And so I am very, very aware of what's happening with young adults right now. So I'm building a community for them called Vision is Victory Academy, Viva for short. So I'm all in on that, and it just got launched last month, and we're working on filling it and just really see a vision of really raising up what we're calling the new league of superhumans. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. So very, very excited about that.
Can you tell us a little bit about Viva? Like, tell us about this, because I am fascinated, one, and also so sorry for the losses.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And yet I see such joy and strength in you.
Well, it's been a journey, and it's not always a joyful day, right?
No,
Obviously.
sure.
But I'm just very, very clear that this is God's purpose for me, Carrie, and that I am called to do this because of my experience and because of what I've been through. So what we're building is a community where first and foremost, it'll be like a membership based thing. And once they are in the membership, they have access to a website that we're building that will have master classes on it that they can have access to in all sorts of topics: finances, relationships, self-care, physical health, as well as trauma, grief, overcoming addictions, loneliness, right? All the things that they're struggling with right now. And when I say young adults, I'm talking about between the ages of early 20s to early 30s. It's just a lost group gap right there, right?
Yeah.
They get out of school and they're starting their adult life or whatever, and they're just, for the most part, kind of drifting.
Yes.
Right. So yeah. So I will do some coaching for them once a month, live call. I hear your puppies.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I've got one sitting right behind me. So
Okay.
Not to worry. They just need a community, Carrie,
Yes.
and they're the first ones to tell you that. So it's starting, to build. We just, like I said, launched it a month ago. But the big vision of it is seeing where I'm going to end up doing a lot of work with them, or possibly retreats, events, just really, really helping them shift their narrative and get on the right path early on in life.
Yeah. What do you find is or maybe there isn't one, are there many, the pieces that keep them stuck in a mindset of negativity that starts down this dangerous path? Like, yes, they're getting out of college or high school, and what do I do from here? Do you think it starts earlier in early childhood? Do you think it starts in their high school years? Like, where is this all coming from? Is COVID in there still too?
Yeah. There's so many circumstances, right? Let's talk about being raised in the home life that maybe wasn't ideal. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them will share some of that with me. Sometimes it was the experiences in school, either positive or negative. A lot of times they have a really big dream, Carrie, but they don't really have any support. I think a lot of it has to do with our educational system as well.
Mm.
They're put on a path. They're told, I use myself as an example, right? So I grew up wanting to be an actress and a singer,
Okay.
and that was all cute when I would sing in all the variety shows, but it was very clear from the messaging I got that I really needed to go to college, get a business degree, get a good job. That's what we were all told to do.
Yes.
And, so you'd go do that. And a lot of them are doing that. And then a year down the road, they're going, okay, so this is the rest of my life. This is what it looks like. And then, yeah, we add on top of it, COVID and social media, a lot of social media pressure,
Yeah.
right? So it's just a lot of factors right now, Kira, that's getting them to where they're just not feeling like they are worthy. I've interviewed several of them for my own podcast. And a lot of them will tell me that they feel like they're already behind, right? They're 22
Oh.
years old and they already feel like they are behind. And a lot of that is because what they are seeing, look, everybody else is out there crushing it. Why am I not crushing it? Why don't I know what I'm doing?
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it's a lot of factors, and they just don't know really who to talk to or what to do about it.
Oh my gosh. So at 22, I'm just thinking back the many, many years to when I was
Right.
22, and my feeling was, this is cool. I'm just starting out.
Yes.
Right? I mean, my TV was on the box it came on. I was just happy to have a TV.
Right.
Didn't really need the entertainment center. My first apartment had big windows, but there were taped X's across all of them. I have no idea why. It just I have no idea. I scraped all that tape off one by one. The
Yeah.
refrigerator, when I went in to see the apartment, I opened the refrigerator and roaches just like went scurrying. But it was my apartment.
Right.
I mean, I guess it was just such a different mindset. But when you just said that, it sent chills down my spine because I
Right.
was thinking, if I was 22 looking at this device, I would think that I should have been buying my first house when I was 6.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's just too much. There's a lot
Yeah.
of pressure in every area of their life: finances, relationships, their career paths, all the things. And one of them. So how that all started with me interviewing young adults
Yeah.
is when I'm in the studio, in my podcast studio. I have a 22-year-old intern in the room with me that helps produce the shows, right? And I ask him in between takes, tell me about your life and how you're feeling about it. And he was sharing a lot of this with me. And he said something that I've quoted a couple times now. He said, I feel like I'm starting my life in a hostile environment. And I thought, wow, because like you, Carrie, when I was 22, I just gotten married, just gotten out of college, so my husband and I were just so excited,
Yeah.
got our first apartment. He got his job, super excited. It was a whole different feeling than what they're feeling right now.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to help them. A lot of the stuff that they're telling me they feel pressure around, they just weren't really taught. Mostly a lot about money. A lot about money.
Do you think that's because their parents were also not taught about money? Like they don't know how to teach what they don't know?
Yes, exactly. Yes. So I have a lot of experts that I bring into the podcast as well that are talking on these topics because they're experienced in it. And they're also the ones putting master classes in the Viva website for me.
Yes.
So yeah, it is an interesting arena because, I wasn't ever sat down and taught, here's how money really works.
Yes.
We were all taught, get the degree, get the job, get the paycheck.
Yes.
Yes.
And put the golden handcuffs on and stay there until retirement age.
Right.
And then you can start doing what you enjoy.
Right.
I hear so many people saying that. So you have these experts coming in and working with them. What has the response been, or is it too new to really know what that
It
response?
really is too new. As a matter of fact, I have not had my first live call with the members yet.
Mhm.
That'll probably be the first of it, probably right after the holiday.
So exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. When I talk about it, I get a lot of so much encouragement.
Mhm.
Mostly from the parents.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I
Yeah.
don't think, and let me pose this as a question. Do you think most of the parents of these young people that are going through your course, do you think most of them really wanted to do better? They just didn't know how. And
Yeah.
so, okay. And so then on the heels of that, then does this program that the kids are going through also help the parents? Like, is there a parent aspect or
Yeah.
a guardian aspect, I should say?
Yeah. It's, I say it's for young adults, but it's really for anybody. Because I have to tell you honestly, Carrie. So when I speak, I have people come up and talk to me, right? A lot of times it's the parents of young adults, and they ask me about the program, and they're like, well, please, please, please help them. And and then they ask me, what can I do? And I tell them, well, they're looking to you to be the example. So how are you doing with having your own vision for your life, following your
Ah,
own passion and your dreams? Because if you're not, they're the ones that are looking to you to see how you're doing.
yeah.
Right. So I really should have a program just for the parents, which is not a bad thing. I might create a workshop around just, helping the parents with their vision.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, because that's what they need is family support.
Mhm.
I've had a couple of families do the vision modality that I do, and it's a game changer when they do it together because then they can all talk about it.
Yes.
Right.
I love this. My
Yeah.
mind is just going like a mile a minute. Like, okay,
Right.
what question should we ask next? Um, when you are working with one of these with a young person on their vision, where's the place that they get stuck the most? Is it I have no idea, or is it it's so big that I don't know how to even think that I could do that? Like
Yeah.
where does that fall?
All of the above.
All
So
of the above.
here's what I do when I work with people, is I get them to think 3 years out.
Yes.
So I literally get them to write out the date 3 years from now.
Yeah.
And then after that, write how old they will be and how old their family members will be. So if you've got kids, how old will your kids be? Parents involved, how old, because time and age are two non negotiables. We can't stop that.
Yes.
And when I get young adults to think about that, they go, wow, I never really thought about that at all. And what they see coming is taking responsibility for their life,
Mhm.
becoming independent. It's very scary for them,
Yeah.
right? Um, Not knowing really what they want to do career wise, scared to death to make a decision after the thing they really want to do, because, like you said, they don't see the how. So I'm able to help them just write it out
Yeah.
and then teach them how to kind of reverse engineer the game plan. So this young man that I was talking to you about, the intern that's in my office, I actually interviewed him on a podcast and I asked him to do this exercise with me.
Mhm.
And I said to him, what is it that you really want to do? And he said, well, I want to go into film work. He said, but I don't know what that looks like. And so I was able to kind of walk him through the processes of, where he could start just right now,
Yes.
taking baby steps in that direction. Not to get overwhelmed with the big thing, but to just think about, okay, what can you do right now to just go in that forward motion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you talked about looking this 3 years in the future and then reverse engineering it. What does that reverse engineering look like? What are I don't want you to give away all of your
Yeah.
secrets, but what are some of the questions that you ask to help us reverse engineer? So I've heard this presentation and it's fabulous and I've gone over it many, many, many times. But if our listeners could say, okay, what's one thing I can do to reverse engineer? Because that just feels overwhelming to me too.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to use another example. So when I started doing this work, I brought people into a 6-week boot camp, and it's very progressive. And one of the people that came into that was my best friend, Dawn. Dawn came out of college and went into the hotel industry, literally working at the front desk and working her way up to being one of the VPs of this hotel chain. So very, very successful. But she was very burned out because she was traveling 32 weeks out of the year. So she had
Wow.
her own life. She wanted to move back home so she would be closer to her aging parents and her 3 brothers and their families. not knowing how to make that happen. How do you leave a 6-figure, very successful career and move home and start all over? What do you do? And so what I said to her was, we just have to start thinking about what lifestyle you want
Yeah.
first. And the lifestyle she wanted was to be able to have the flexibility, make the kind of income she was used to making, have the freedom and flexibility to travel when she wanted to travel, not because she had to,
Yeah.
but also have the freedom and flexibility to be there for her parents. So we talked about some types of careers that are like that. And one of them was real estate. She said, I just really don't even know what that looks like. And I said, okay, baby step. Do you know a realtor in your hometown that you could call and say, can I just take you to lunch and ask you what it looks like, day in the life of being a realtor and how you get started? Baby step.
Yes.
Right? So we make these big things so big that we get overwhelmed and we don't even start anywhere.
Yes.
So with me starting the Vision is Victory Academy, Viva, for young adults, it's been very boots on the ground kind of stuff, Carrie. I mean, it's, eventually we're going to put a lot of PR around it. We're working on that, a lot of sponsorship around it. But right now, literally, I'm getting a handful of people together for happy hour tomorrow here in Phoenix because I'm super well connected here, just to tell them about Viva.
Wow.
The big vision of it, what kind of support I need. It's amazing when you just tap into what's around you, how that takes on legs.
Yes.
Right? So we just have to just get out of our own way.
We do have to get out of our own way and get over our own selves, right?
Right?
And just
Yes.
believe that we are worthy of these amazing goals that we have.
Right.
I mean, they're downloaded to us. We have them. To me, I feel they're God-given.
Yeah.
And we are born to do these things.
Yes.
How do you help them understand that that's the truth, that we truly are born for greatness?
Yes. That's hard because the narratives start early on in life as to, why you can't have all that, why it's wrong to think that, when I was stepping into the network marketing industry, Carrie, this was the late 80s, early 90s.
Mhm.
And in that time frame, network marketing was, you're not going to do that.
Yes. Uh-huh.
All my family and friends thought I was crazy
Mhm.
because, they were all doing the work your way up the corporate ladder thing.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm just not fitting this mold. I didn't do the 9 to 5 thing very well.
Yep.
So I just knew what I knew. I had a vision of being at home, making it residual income, earning trips, being there for my kids. That vision was so powerful for me that it overrode everything else. And that's the
Mm.
secret,
Yes.
because there's so much adversity in life and so like the woman who sponsored me in the company that I went into, Carrie, she died very unexpectedly, like 6 months later, just hit the floor, and that was it.
Oh. Oh my.
And, so for about a month, I really questioned, should I keep doing this? And I kept going because the vision was bigger than how I was feeling. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So even to this day, now when people learn about all my loss, they ask me, how in the world are you still functioning and doing
Yeah.
all that? And the reason is because my vision of what I'm doing is way, way, way bigger than me.
Yes, being a part of something bigger than ourselves.
Right. So that's what asked me when we started here. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning. Even on the days where I'm not feeling high energy, I still do a little bit every day because it's not about me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are powerful words right there.
Mhm.
It's not about me.
Right.
And it isn't. When you think of, I can't remember who I heard say this, but the world is made up of everyone else with the exception of one person in your life, right? I mean, it's so big.
Right.
It's so big, and this vision that you have is so powerful, and I love hearing about what you're doing. So how can we as listeners and supporters, how can we help you get the word out there that
Mhm.
this is coming, and this is growing, and this is big, and this is needed? Any
Yeah.
of us who have children, grandchildren, neighbors, nieces, nephews, friends in this age bracket, I mean, I watch my two nieces just struggle with
Right.
what do we do? How do we do it? Yeah.
Right. Well, the best thing is to follow me. I'm all over social media. Not my
Mhm.
favorite thing, but I am. We have
Mhm.
to, right? Um, Facebook, it's just my name, Carey Conley. Instagram, Carey, I think it's Carey.Conley.
Okay.
We post a lot there about Viva. And then, of course, I have a website, CarrieConley.com. So I'm everywhere.
Yes, and I will link all of that
Yeah,
under the show notes so nobody has to go searching if you're
right,
listening or watching.
right. Yeah, and stages. The big thing for me, Carrie, is to do a lot of podcasting and a lot of getting on stages,
Okay.
like the one you and I were on, where we get to share our story and our message and our mission. Uh,
Yes.
you just have to have an army of fans.
Yes,
Yeah,
because it takes a village,
yes, it does.
and it truly does. So, okay, so I'm gonna ask you to give us a writing prompt, if you would, to get us journaling, and then I would love for you to share your superpower, your pow pow shoes, however you wanna answer it. And then like a if I could tell you one thing, this is it message.
So I started already telling you how to write your vision, right?
Yes.
So, and I have a free book that I want to give to your listeners too. It's the
Yes.
first
Thank you.
workbook. It's my workbook, Vision is Victory. I have a free downloadable version of it that I always like to give away.
Okay.
And I'll give you the link that you can put in the show notes as well. But you can
Perfect.
also text the word victory, all in caps, to 26786 and get the book. So it'll walk you through this process. But the journal prompt is to find some quiet time, get away from everything, your devices, your environment, your families, your friends, shut everything off. Uh, Go to your happy place and get a journal, piece of paper, legal pad, whatever, and date it as if it's 3 years out. Write how old you will be, how old your family members will be. And then I want you to think and write as if it is that day and you are that age. In every area of your life, what does it look like? And I use 7 F's. So your faith life, which is your community, whatever that looks like for you, family, friends, fitness and health, your field, your career,
Okay.
finances, and fun.
Okay.
And just dream. Don't leave anything out because you don't see how don't play that game of I just don't even know how that's going to happen with where I'm at right now.
Mhm.
Don't leave anything out and be very, very careful with the words. Don't write words like I'm hoping, we'll see, I'm trying. It's very affirming words. We did it, we're doing, as if it's all happening,
Yes.
right? And as much detail as possible. It's magical.
Oh, it is magical. I have done it recently with you. And first it was a little like, oh my gosh, in 3 years, my grandkids will be mine. Just writing out those numbers
Yeah,
was like,
it is kind of like that, isn't it?
what? But then taking those F's and then writing out what I see
Yeah.
was so powerful. And as you said, letting go of but how is that even possible? I could feel the excitement building in me like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this is my life in 3 years. This is fabulous.
Yeah. It's very inspiring, isn't it? It
Yes,
just
it
really,
is.
it just gives you that layer of hope out there, right?
Yes.
Especially for people who are really, really struggling right now. Um,
Yes.
I need to help them see that there is a future beyond what's happening where they are right now.
Yes.
And the second thing I encourage people to do is to make sure that you have a community around you, which is another reason why I'm building Viva, of people who will encourage you on the days that you want to quit, lift you up. They see your greatness. They're not doubting your vision in any way. So you have to be super careful who you pick. Because it was everything for me when I was building
Yes.
both my businesses. The way that I got through the days that I wanted to quit was I had those people around me saying, no, you're not. Right? Just take a
Yes.
day off if you need to, but you're not quitting.
Yes. Oh, we all need that person.
Yes.
We all need that person. And we all really need to be that person for somebody else.
And
too.
for ourselves.
Yes, for
Yeah.
ourselves. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
You are an exceptional person.
Yeah.
So
Carrie, I appreciate
share
it.
with us. Oh, you're welcome. I mean it. I mean, I got to sit next to you in that event. So it was so special just seeing you at work. It's just like your newest fan. I'm your newest fan. I'm your biggest fan. I'm sure of it.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're welcome.
I think you're pretty fabulous too.
Oh, thank you. So can you tell us your version of your Pow Pow shoes?
Wow. I just really feel like I can read between the lines for people. Like when people start telling me what's going on in their life, what their circumstances are, I can see what's really keeping them stuck other than what they think it is.
Wow.
Right? In a very loving way.
That's an amazing superpower.
Yeah. So, because if I don't tell people the truth about what's really going on, and it's always up here, I'm not a very good coach.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
Yes.
So I think that's why a lot of people end up hiring me, is because they know that I can pull them through that faster and identify those things.
Oh, see,
Right?
you just keep getting more and better in my eyes.
Thank you. Yeah.
What is one parting message that you would want to leave with everyone? If there was one thing you could tell them, it would be.
If you have the dream, it's not a mistake. You know, if you are thinking about it all the time and it's been there all of your life, it's what your purpose is. Yeah. It's not a pipe dream. It's not a hope and a wish and a prayer thing. It's this is your calling thing. Pay attention.
Chills down the spine. Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Asking that question.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for giving us the best answer I could have hoped for. This has been fabulous. I look forward to having you back on and giving us updates. And I would love to do this regularly because it is so needed. And I want to help you get the word out there because I see the need for it. And knowing that I know someone who is meeting that need makes me just passionate about helping you.
Thank you.
Spread that. So thank you so much for hanging out with us today on Coffee and Tea with CarrieVee.
Oh, thanks for giving me the platform, Carey.
You're welcome.